Join two sisters who explore the couples that fandoms adore. We write their stories in the night, in the glow of computer light. Eyes connect, clothing flies, in our head canon love never dies. Pencils that leave us pining, in deep forums we are mining. For this journey better strap in, because we all know that shit happens.
Welcome to the podcast that explores the couples fans can't stop dreaming about from the pop culture you love. Because when it comes to your favorite animated anthropomorphized animal adventure, ship happens!
We're your host. I'm Emily.
And I'm Rachel. She likes nerd culture.
And she likes making podcasts, so we thought we'd join forces to make a podcast about popular online ships.
And if you want to hear about a ship that you love, or you want to share your own thoughts on a ship we've talked about, send them to us at our brand spanking new podcast email address, shiphappenssisters@gmail.com, because not only are we podcast making duos, we're also sisters, which always we like to work into the conversation in the most natural way possible.
We start with the email. It's just going to be at the start every time.
Yes, we are blood related.
It's not going to be a reveal.
Not when we're like talking about our shared father.
Yeah. Our mom, who happens to be the same for both of us. Yeah.
Now that we've beat that dead horse, that the fact that we are sisters. Before we get into our big ship this week, who are you shipping in your day-to-day life? This is our Ship of the Week section.
Right. So I got mixed feelings on this one. So I'm working my way through the Schoolomance book series by Naomi Novik.
I haven't heard that name in a long time. I remember when Spinning Silver was a big deal.
Yes, that was good. So I was like, pretty sure this would be good. So it's called Schoolomance. It takes place in a magic wizard school, but it's not like your regular magical schools because there's no teachers or anything. They just throw all these magical kids together and then they just kind of have to survive until they graduate. And they kind of learn there's like classes. The school gives you classes and like homework and stuff, but mostly you just try to survive all the monsters that try to fight you and eat you. But people go to this school because it's actually worse outside of the school. You have like a 1 in 6 chance of making it through the school, but you have like a 1 in 4 chance if you just like do it on your own. So they're in the school, they're fighting monsters. And so your main character is Elle, you're in her head. And then she kind of befriends / he kind of just follows her around until they're friends. This guy, Orion, who's like the star monster hunter of the school.
Of course.
Right. And so it's kind of like, we just did Hermione. It's kind of same vibes because like he's the hero and the school wants her to go like evil so bad. It keeps handing her like these spells to like raise cities and like murder tons of people at one time. And she has to like actively not kill people or like use evil spells. Like she's just trying to clean her room and it gives her the spell to summon a gigantic wall of fire. She's like, I just want to mop. So he starts following her around because he thinks she's evil. She's like, I'm literally trying so hard not to be evil. But I think they end up together. She spends the whole first book telling everyone assumes they're dating. She tells everybody the whole first book. She's like, we're not dating. Until this moment at the end where they think they're about to die. And he looks at her and she goes, we've been dating this whole time. She's like, God damn it. Are we dating? She's like, I didn't know. You didn't tell me. He goes to kiss her in their last moments and she like knees him in the stomach because she's about to save their life. So she's like, you need to back off.
Yeah, I got it. Let me handle this with my unforgivable curses or whatever I have.
Yeah, she's like, she uses the big wall of fire. She now has magic, she knows to prevent their deaths. Spoiler alert for the first book. But there's a trilogy, so obviously.
You had an idea. She was at least going to make it.
Yeah. So at first, I was like, I don't know if I want them together because it's kind of like, he was a boy, she was a girl.
Pretty obvious.
Yeah. And they are for a while. They're like each other's only friends and first friends they make at the school. So it's like, But I don't know. As I'm getting more into it, I kind of like them to get together. They're both so weirdos. She's clearly kind of into him, but she's trying really hard where I'm in right now to keep that out of her mind. She's like too busy fighting these monsters, The school's specifically screwing her over. She's like, I don't have time for this.
Fair.
Yeah. So I guess that's my ship. I will see how it goes. I do think they end up together, so I think it will work out.
That's a good one.
But I have a book and a half, so I'm sure there'll be some challenges.
Well, that's a good one. I haven't heard about Naomi Novik for a long time, so it's good to know she's still out there crushing it. My ship of the week is very, last week I talked about real people, so I was like, oh, that's always a little bit weird. But this one is even more grounded and rational. And my ship this week is the two construction workers that I saw on the street in Baltimore, Maryland while I was on vacation last week. I mean, these two were in love, Emily. It wasn't even subtle. Like, there was a part where one kind of like tripped and the other one pulled him as he fell and like pulled him back on his feet, but didn't let go right away. And they like hang on to each other for a couple seconds, like the one pats the other on the back, like leaving his hand. And then they're like talking and they're like grabbing onto each other's clothes as they're like talking and like just pull. I'm just like, my husband who was driving, I'm like, those two dudes are in love. And I hope they have the happily ever after they deserve. That's who I'm shipping this week. That's not
just two guys I saw.
They were very clearly in love. And construction, there might be some like heteronormativity, like homophobia ingrained in like a manly line of work. But I'm like, no, those two dudes are in love. And I wish them well. Well, it's good that, we started with something a little ridiculous so that the main couple we're talking about today is a little less ridiculous. So I should cover my mouth because to many, this is not a ridiculous couple at all.
No. So today we are talking the ship WildeHopps from the Disney movie Zootopia.
And I just really want to be clear that the only reason we were talking about Judy Hopps and Nick Wilde is because Emily did not want to talk about Beastars. That she didn't want to talk about Legoshi and Haru. I don't know why you hate Beastars so much.
I don't hate Beastars. I did not watch Beastars.
You didn't.
I did not know it was another bunny in. Is it a wolf?
Yes, he's a wolf in that one. So because you didn't want to dip our toes into the anime world yet, we've been avoiding it a little too long, in my opinion. But because
anime's one thing, anime with the animals is a different thing.
It's nuts, and it's a great story because I remember I was watching it based on a recommendation from another podcast that we both listened to. It was kind of like a joke, but I'm watching it with my husband. I stopped to go record my other podcast. This was like back in 2020 or whatever, before the pandemic. So we were still recording in person back when people used to do such a thing. And I leave. My husband keeps watching Beastars. I come back. I'm mad. He watches it again with me. He was willing to watch Beastars the majority of the season twice in a day. So it can't be that bad. But because Emily's not willing to pull the trigger on Beastars yet, we have to settle for another fuckable bunny and carnivore coupling here. And that is in the form of Big Booty Judy herself, Miss Judy Hopps, and the devilishly charming Nick Wilde.
Why is it always a rabbit? I was thinking about it. I was like, does this go back to Space Jam? But I was like, no, it goes past Space Jam.
Jessica
Who
Rabbit?
Framed Roger Rabbit.
Well, because bunnies are horny, I guess. I don't know.
Oh. Yeah, because I was like, Playboy's a bunny. Is it Playboy? I was like, why is it bunnies? Why not like mice?
What is this crazy Zootopia about with a Big Booty Judy bunny?
So Zootopia is an animated Disney movie that was released in 2016, which is about a human-ish world. It's like our society. But instead of humans, mammals have evolved human-like intelligence and morals and things. And they've built a city where predators and prey live in harmony, and I guess eating the other kind of animals because they didn't get to be anthropomorphized. But in the sequel, so there is a sequel coming out end of this year, they have a snake friend, so they're changing their lore there.
Who eats who?
I guess just now they got to eat the birds and fish. But anyway, sequel's being released later this year, so the plot, we'll get into it because you kind of have to get into like the characters. But we got like a kind of country girl, Judy Hopps, like I said, bunny. She comes to the city of Zootopia to become the city's first bunny police officer. And during the course of her first really couple of days on the job, she runs across a cynical con man fox, Nick Wilde. And they end up having to team together to solve the case of 14 missing mammals.
And to get to the bottom of this mystery, Judy and Nick have to explore the many different boroughs of the city's seedy underbelly, and their own prejudice, values, and belief systems along the way. All to the sound of a cheery Shakira song. Hey, 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 hey. I love Shakira. I won't give up. No, I won't give up. Okay, I'll stop. It's a great song, though.
Yep.
Okay.
And it is the most of the end credits, which I know because for this podcast, I did watch it. So we don't really talk about Experience. I was like, Experience, I guess I saw it at some point. I'd seen it. I thought I had a memory of seeing it on like a bus for a school trip, like when you go far away and you get one of the nice buses. But that does not add up because I was graduated by 2016.
Yeah, you were basically graduated from college at that point.
I was an adult, yeah. So I don't think...
Maybe you watched it on a plane.
I don't know, but I definitely saw it. I remembered scenes of it. But before doing this podcast, I did. So I went to go check out if I could stream it anywhere. Saw that I would have to pay money. I was like, no, thank you. Then I went to my local library's website.
Hell yeah.
And they did, hell yeah, local library. And they did have some copies available at a nearby library, the slightly farther away one, but still not too far away. So I did drive out there and borrowed it. So I have seen it. I watched it Saturday while walking on my treadmill.
The whole thing. So it's fresh in your head.
Yes. Yep. And I will say for a 10-year-old movie, there are more copies of it checked out than there are on the shelves. And I borrowed it from the bestseller shelf. So I didn't even have to go back into the regular racks.
You didn't have to dig through. Wow. And I think that just speaks to Zootopia's holding power. As we've learned by doing this research, Zootopia has still got it going on. Apparently, it was a big part of many people's lives. I know it was definitely a big part of my dog's life because for a while when it was available on Netflix, every time we left the house, I would put it on for him so he wouldn't get lonely. I felt like it was like an animal adjacent movie, so he would be interested in it. We put him in his kettle and I'd put on Zootopia and then we'd leave. That's to say, I guess I've seen the beginning a lot more than I've seen the rest of it, but I have watched it all the way through a few times. Maybe during like the big movie watching of having a first newborn was maybe one of the movies that crossed my palate or crossed my plate, but I remember liking it, and I remember distinctly watching it and being like, are these animals gonna smash? So obviously I was picking up on some of the pieces that everybody else is. And I also want to say, before we jump into these characters and the ship themselves, the whole world was primed for this kind of romance. All of our wheels had been greased by, what was it, the 90s animated classic Robin Hood, which set the precedent that foxes are sexy.
Sexy foxes. And Robin Hood actually served as like the model for the animation of Nick Wilde. So like they knew what they were doing.
They knew what they were doing to us. They're like, this is how we get the next generation hooked on anthropomorphized
we know what
foxes.
a hot bunny looks like.
Yeah.
Lola. Yeah. And we know what a hot fox looks like. So
they really did.
Let's combine them.
To
get them in the same movie.
Most good looking animals. And they're like, this is a power couple now. So let's get into that power couple.
All right. So our first character, so she opens the movie, is Judy Hopps. So Judy Hopps is a Law and Order obsessed bunny from Bunny Burrow, but she's not satisfied with the carrot farmer life. She decides that she is going to go as a tiny little bunny. She decides she's going to go to the city and make the world a better place by being a cop. And she does it. She overcomes adversity. In this world, none of the smaller animals are police officers. It's all big animals like oxes and elephants and things. But just through gumption, she gets through the police academy and is assigned to like District 1 of Zootopia. So yeah, she's ambitious. She's very optimistic, maybe even naive a bit as to how the world works. But she's willing to do whatever to get the job done.
Yeah, real go-getter. She thinks that anybody can accomplish anything with the right mindset, which is kind of like the naivety piece of it.
She kind of believes the best in people, or at least believes that things can get better.
Right.
And played by Jennifer Goodwin, who was Snow White in Once Upon a Time, which I'm sure there's a plethora of ships in if we run out of ideas.
Yeah. That's all like a spider web of connecting everybody together. Yeah. And Judy is balanced by street smart, wise, cracking career con artist Nick Wilde, a real Harold Hill type, if you will, But have no fear, as always, the bad boy in our story, you guessed it, has a tragic backstory. Nick is from a poor carnivore family, and all he ever wanted to be was a animal Boy Scout. But they didn't have the money for it. So eventually his mom saved up the money to get him in, got him a uniform. And when he goes to be initiated, it's actually a setup. And he is in turn mocked by all of the herbivores, then the troop. And they're like, we don't want to hang out with you. You're a fox, and foxes are sly and tricksy. And in that moment, Nick decided he was no longer going to be a vulnerable person or let that vulnerability show. And he will embrace the role that society has given him as the good-for-nothing sly fox. And he's played by Jason Bateman, from Arrested Development. So that guy does like every voice, I feel like. Every relatable guy voice.
Like a lot of other stuff. But yeah. I saw
every man.
Like, from Arrested Development. They do the good job. They both do very good. Very well.
Yeah, and the animators were doing some heavy lifting as well, but we'll get into that. Because both of these characters are kind of very firm in their worldviews, and that shatters when the two immovable forces collide. So let's get into our favorite segment. Is it a meet cute or get the boot? Emily, since you just watched the movie, tell us about the meet cute.
So Judy is her first day on the force. Nobody takes her seriously as a police officer because she's so cute and small. So she gets assigned meter maid. So like one of the more annoying police jobs. So she decides she's going to be the best meter maid she can be. But while she is assigning lots of tickets to cars, she sees a shifty looking fox walking down the street and kind of immediately specially profiles him. But she follows him into the ice cream shop he's going into, and she sees instead that he's just a poor dad trying to get his son an elephant-sized popsicle on his birthday. But the mean elephants don't want to sell to a sly fox, so Judy kind of has to reevaluate her own prejudices. And then she steps in, and in her first misuse of power, kind of extorts the elephants into selling him the popsicle. They are like violating health code, but...
And she's like, I'll let that slide if you just sell my fox friend here a jumbo pop.
Yep. So, of course, wouldn't you know it, once he goes to pay for the popsicle, he's left his wallet at home. So sad. His birthday is ruined.
He's like, I'm sorry, champ.
So, yeah, Judy steps in, pays for the popsicle, even says don't worry about it when he offers to pay her back. And they wave goodbye, and there he goes with his little son down the street with the giant popsicle. So later in the day, while Judy is still ticketing cars, she looks up, and she sees that Nick and his son are melting the popsicle down on the roof and melting them into like containers, and she's like, this is sus. So she follows him and realizes he has a whole con going, like a whole scheme. So him and his son, who is a grown-up adult fennec fox.
Yes. She sees him driving the van away.
Yeah.
She's like, wait a minute.
So they I guess they scam some sucker into buying them a popsicle. They then melt down the popsicles into smaller popsicles, and then sell them to, I think they were lemmings.
Yeah, because they just followed one another. Once you get one lemming, the rest follow.
Yep. I'm like, I get it. Of course, and they, sell the popsicles. They even sell the popsicle sticks to like a little rodent, telling them it's, authentic red wood. And I'm pocketing 100% of the proceeds since there was really no money down in this scheme. So she confronts him on the street, but it turns out really he has the permits. He didn't commit any crime. They kind of match wits, but he wins this one, calling her a dumb money and that the world will grind her down. And she does leave. She goes and has like a sad moment in her apartment.
Yes, it was a sad moment. So what do you think? Is this a meet cute or get the boot?
I think it's kind of a meet cute, and just because it works out.
Right.
And she gets her comeuppance, she wins the next one. It sets them up as characters. She does have her little issues with foxes, and she's, do-gooder. And he's got kind of a con man. He doesn't have the greatest outlook on the world, but they're very good together.
I was a little bit more skeptical because I'm like, Judy's bubble's getting burst here a little bit because she's like, wow, the world isn't all sweet and innocent as I thought it was. And also, Judy's not so innocent as well because all the things that you said, sure, I could actually see it maybe falling into more of a meet cute because it's more of a, oh, what a scamp, that scoundrel making $200 off of a $15 popsicle. But actually, Judy, I think, does the least cute thing in the whole exchange, which is when complimenting Nick after she just bought him the popsicle, she tells him that he's a great dad and a real articulate fella. And I'm like, oh, as it's just a very hard thing to hear. And I'm like, that's probably the least cute part of the whole thing.
Yeah.
That was a groan and a
Well, he's like, well, yeah, and you're not patronizing at all.
yes. So I was gonna say get the boot, but I think you might have swayed me with the actual like part where they're talking and like quipping back and forth. So meet cute, right?
Yeah.
With some highs and lows, and it only gets cuter from there.
Yeah, room to grow.
But from there, things only get more romantic, right? Because there's definitely chemistry between these two, or as much as the animated fox and bunny can have. They definitely fit the trope of the reluctant partners to lovers, right? Why does she decide she needs his help again?
So I think it's like a way to get rid of her cop boss says like, sure, you can have a chance, solve this missing otter in 2 days because he doesn't think she'll do it. And then she said she'll quit if she doesn't do it.
Oh, wow.
And then there's like no leads, she's got nothing but a picture of like the last moment they have of when this otter was around, and in the corner there's a little foxtail.
Oh.
So he was at the scene of the crime, so she goes and tracks him down.
Okay, that makes a lot more sense. I was just like, that was just the first criminal she met. So she's like, yes, you must help me.
No, when he goes missing, he's holding a popsicle. So
oh gosh.
Yeah.
Okay.
he had just bought one from Nick.
That is a true lead then. And so they team up together to solve this mystery through some slight coercion. And there is a lot of romantic tension, some might say, throughout this journey. There's a lot of quips that kind of flow throughout their partnership. Like you said, it's the match of wits. Sometimes he comes out on top, sometimes she does. And they open up to each other. They become more vulnerable as time goes on, and they kind of challenge each other's beliefs.
Yeah, they kind of get a window into each other's like traumas or struggles. Nick sees what Judy's going through on the police force, where everyone is just discounting her completely. And that's when that moment is when he steps up and he's like, we got 10 hours left. Like, we're solving this. Because, he's been there. He's always being discounted. Dismissed.
Yeah.
Yeah. Discounted as being a clever fox. And that's something cute they do. Because she calls him like sly fox as an insult. He calls her dumb bunny. But then whenever she does something smart, he calls her clever bunny. And when he's kind of a dummy, she calls him dumb fox. But like, it's teasing.
Yeah.
So that was cute. They have good banter.
They do have good banter. Very fast, very quick. And they also have a lot of physical contact. As I was like watching clips and like seeing stills from it, these two are always touching each other. It's either like punches on the arm, or they're like hanging their arms up at each other.
There was a scene. What it was like at a professional setting too. They were like arms around each other. I was like, that's a lot.
Yeah.
I think when they like solved the crime or something.
I try not to touch any of my coworkers if I can help it. Also, what did the animators do? I've never seen such bedroom eyes on animals. And at first I thought it was just the way WildeHopps was looking at Nick, but like it's vice versa as well. His eyes are always like half closed and like I like eyebrows kind of raised, or I don't know. He's got the Flynn Rider smolder down, and then she's always like looking up at him with her eyes like half closed. I'm like, dang, guys. We're here. All of us are here. Like, cool it.
You're on a deadline. You gotta.
Yeah. How are you developing these intense feelings? And then kind of their relationship is also what allows them to get away with tricking the big bad in the end. They tricked them and us by thinking that Nick has gone full carnivore and is about to eat her. But because they know each other so well, she realizes that he's not really. And they just go on with this act that they've done, that they made it seem like they were spontaneous. I don't know if it was implied that they had rehearsed.
So they had the plot of the movie. Carnivores, specifically, I guess predators, because there's otter, they're omnivores, I believe. They're going vicious, they're going savage, they're like regressing to their roots, and they want to like eat the prey and attack and stuff. So they think it's just like biological, which is bad. That's not a good term.
Yeah.
But actually, it's like Vice Mayor or something is having these little like poison darts concocted, and they're shooting predators because she's a little lamb, a little sheep, and she wants to like, I guess, further her campaign for the little guys. Anyway, the moral is you can't trust politicians.
Yeah.
Because even the mayor's, who's a lion's lying to save his own ass. So they dig up where these toxic darts are being made. They get one with a dart and it's in the gun. So then while they're confronting the big bad guy or little bad guy,
the little tiny sheep bad guy,
little cute sheep, ends up with the gun, they shoot Nick. And then, Nick does his whole I'm savage now. Except they pulled the dart out. They replaced it with the blueberry. So they knew there wasn't a dart in the gun. So I think they both knew the whole time that he was play acting. And they were just doing it. So while he was approaching her all snarly, she was like, why are you even doing this? And then the mayor, of course, monologues her evil plan. And then they pull out the little carrot recorder device, which Judy used initially to blackmail Nick, and then Nick used it to like hold on to her apology when she apologized to him for the being biologically savage thing. So they pull that out, and they've got the confession on tape.
Okay. I still felt like there was a lot of trust between the two of them, which I saw as a hallmark of their relationship growth, because they had their ups and their downs and their apologies. And yeah, it was just, this was really cute. It was, but to get into why people like it so much is that it was just a really genuine relationship that didn't feel forced, right? It wasn't just, oh, boy character, girl character must get together. It was that these two characters who just happened to be boys and girl characters developed this very close bond throughout the course of the movie. And that's what made everybody want to see more of it.
Judy forces it to begin with, but they kind of learn about each other. They grow closer. And they just, work really well together.
What I saw a lot in the message boards, because I looked at the message boards, was that the romance didn't feel shoehorned. Like, even without intending it to be romantic, it just seemed to happen naturally and organically. And that comes through the chemistry.
So watching it, I was kind of like, I don't know. I think if these were two people, they would just be together.
Right.
And now there's the dynamic. You even mentioned him, Flynn Rider or whatever, earlier. It's very similar to the Rapunzel Flynn Rider dynamic. I think she kind of forces them into working together as well.
She does. Yeah, she blackmails him.
Yeah.
And that's very interesting.
That's romantic.
And Tangled came out late 2000s, like 2009 or 10 maybe, in that area. Judy Hopps may be one of the founders of that adorkable archetype too, right? That Disney is now very much known for, where all female characters are very adorkable. But like what you're saying is that they're true, right? There's the lovable scoundrel, and then there's, well, I'll just play it in the internet terms, there's the black cat boyfriend in this sense, and then the golden retriever girlfriend, or I guess I think of it as Leslie Knope and Ben. What's his name? Ben, I don't know his last name. Ben from Parks and Rec. But because of those differences, they actually worked well together, and they bring out those sides of each other. Judy helps Nick get vulnerable. Nick helps Judy get a little bit more street smart and grow in her own sense of like the world and how it works, and challenges her beliefs.
And Judy believes in Nick, which kind of in the end, so he ends up applying and, making his way through the police academy. So she kind of, just by believing in him, helps him believe in himself that he can be more than just a sly fox. He can be a force for good as well.
He can put that slyness to positive use.
Did I guess what they're going to do in the sequel coming out later this year?
Yeah, which timely, good on us. Maybe it's a good thing we didn't do these stars, especially just looking at the AO3 numbers. 'Cause I didn't know this one was as hot as it was.
No, yeah.
Because you said, if you were watching it and it was people, you would be like, oh, they're together. Like there wouldn't even be a question. It's like, I'm thinking of it as a trial where if it's human actors, it's like the burden of proof is on the writers or whatever. It's on the actors. It's like, oh, man and woman hanging on each other. It's just assumed. But because they're animated animals, like they do a flip-flop and they're the defense where they just have to like deny, right? They don't have to prove anything. They just have to like make you doubt what you're seeing. And so because of that, they're like, we can do all this stuff, but because it's a kid movie, all we have to do is not say it directly and they're platonic friends. Because that's the song that Disney's been singing this whole time. And that, they might be the number one op to the WildeHopps. Oh, I just realized we never talked about the name.
Oh, that was in my note.
Oops, sorry, I didn't copy it over.
Yeah, no, I like it. I think it's good. It's cute.
It's the best one. Right, well, not the best one, but it's the best for these two. Nudie. Sorry, I didn't think about that before I started talking. Yes, WildeHopps is pretty good. And it was actually coined by one of the directors of the movie, I hear, online. But despite the directors themselves maybe being personally WildeHop fans, Disney is the biggest op to WildeHop because they just won't confirm it.
Nope. And they recently posted on Valentine's Day a meme, and it was, send this to the Wild to your Hops or the Nick to your Judy or something. And then it was like hashtag as friends.
Yeah, it said, when you find the Nick to your Judy, and then everyone was like, and then the caption said, send to a friend. So that really had us in the first half there. We were like, everyone's like, oh my God, it's going to be confirmed. But it was not, because according to Disney and the Disney Wikipedia, they are platonic friends. They are just good pals.
And partners in not crime.
Yeah. There's a lot of reasons why they might be towing that line. And some of the reasons that I saw discussed on the Zootopia subreddit were, one, they're not the same species, which I think goes against the whole message of the movie.
But you don't see a couple that's not same species.
That's the other
in the
thing.
movies.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Yeah. Maybe it's not, Zootopia is not the utopia it appears to be.
Only when Shakira Gazelle is singing.
Yes.
Then we can all agree it's a utopia.
We're all on the same side.
But there might be other biological reasons that they are quite good partners. I didn't see this. You found this little factoid.
Yeah. In the movie, if you do math, you can kind of tell their ages. And Judy's like 23, 24, whereas Nick's like early-ish 30s, which is just a bit of an age gap, too much of an age gap for me specifically because Judy's under 25.
Yeah. It's like
that's
the frontal
like
cortex isn't all the way there yet.
When she's over 25, then I won't really have an issue with it. But I don't know, they're animals too, so like.
But he's not live his life, right?
Maybe they like mature at different times. I don't know. Yeah.
Right. Okay. So that one, I agree. That age difference is that. If I was 23 and my 23-year-old friend was telling me about their early 30s criminal boyfriend, I would probably be a little sus. I would probably be a little sus.
I don't know about this one.
Yeah, like, ooh, are you so sure? But she fixed him, right? She got that fuzzy tail into the police academy. So But no, again, if it was a decade later in her life, sure, why not? But 23 and early 30s, yeah, that's probably my least favorite thing about these two.
Yep. Well, he's been committing tax fraud for 20 years. I don't know. Maybe not. Super viable.
That sounds like a high risk.
Yeah. But people also just think this is like a standard one. Why does everything have to be romantic?
Right. And
I can kind of see that, just because, like, specifically with this couple, I think Judy's just ambitious. I don't know if she has time to date. She's saving the world.
Right.
And I don't know if I see Nick settling down.
Yeah, that part of their personalities don't necessarily overlap, right? And that's a complaint that I saw too, is like, oh, Judy's a strong, independent woman bunny. She don't need no man. You know, she's got to go become chief of Zootopia. So hopefully if he joins the force, then maybe some of that can overlap. If I've learned anything from these cop dramedies, it's that they all date each other. Brooklyn Nine-Nine specifically comes to mind. I feel like if you're a cop, the only person you can't be married to is another cop, because they're the only other people who get it. I don't know. I think isn't it? You spend when you're a police officer or a detective, you spend a lot of time away from your home and like off hours and whatnot. I don't know. Watch True Detective. They complained about it a lot.
But I think getting with your partner though, that's like
Highly,
probably very against it.
yes, highly a bad idea. But I'm sure it happens all the time because you're just working tightly with somebody all the time. Come on. They're just mammals.
Yep.
So that's what the critics are saying. And, you know, there's a fair reason to maybe not be for it and just be like, oh, it's just a cute kids movie that deals with heavy topics. If you're watching it and you're like, oh. And I don't think it could have got made today because I think it's too on the nose. Like talking about, oh, it's in their biology. I don't think we could get away with saying that kind of stuff now because even in animals, it's too far.
Yeah, like using articulate. Like that's directly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Someone calls her cute. She's like, it's offensive if you say it. Only bunnies can call other bunnies cute.
Things like that. I don't think I don't think you can make that anymore. But we're grateful we got the one we did with the characters because a lot of people saw the potential with the two. And I think this goes further beyond boy and girl go together. They see all the things that we talked about, all the positives, and they took that and they ran with it. Oh, did these folks run with it?
Yes.
Because Zootopia has a chokehold on us to this day.
Yes. I think if it was just boy and girl, it wouldn't have this kind of staying power.
No.
Yeah, it made them feel something besides just they're two cute animal leads in this movie. Because, yeah, it has been around for 10 years and the fandom is still going strong and maybe even revitalized because of the sequel.
Which we didn't even know about when we decided to do this. That was a pleasant surprise. We're like knocking it out with like topical content this summer.
Yeah. On a roll.
Yeah, so come listen to us before you go see Wicked 2, watch Stranger Things, the final part, watch the new Hunger Games movie. We're crushing it.
So what does the fandom think? So I found 5,000 plus works on AO3. That might have just been Zootopia, though, not the ship specifically.
Yeah, I was looking at
what are people writing about that's not the ship?
Giselle, probably. I don't know. I want to read about her. Or maybe they're just not slash. Maybe some of them are...
Yeah,
Judy
I think some people just like the animal world.
Yeah. From the ones that I saw that were specifically WildeHopps, there was almost 2,500, which I believe is more than Hayfie, which I think came in with a cool $2,000. So
nice, yeah. I was expecting a bit more, but I think because we've been hitting some real large IPs recently.
Oh,
so
yeah.
Some big numbers. Yeah.
Definitely.
But even if this is a small fandom, it is mighty. You know, it's been 10 years. These fics are still being updated regularly. Some of them, they're so long. So some like 50 chapters, 90 chapters, like wow.
People
a lot of crossover ones.
Yes.
And I even came across the Zootopia News Network website, which I thought was very cute.
Yeah.
So it's an active website. They're still posting stories specifically about Zootopia news, and they do a monthly roundup of which fics have been updated, which I thought was sweet.
I just like people who have a genuine interest in something and they go about it in a very positive way. Like they're just doing their thing, man.
Yeah.
It's just like, I love that. I love that.
Just forming a community. Yeah.
Over Zootopia. Who would have thought? And so these two, I'm sure, these two play a big role in that website as well, the Zootopia News Network. I think I saw several photos of them, artworks of them together.
Yes.
And that's just because the majority of the fandom just is very pro WildeHopps. according to Reddit, there was Wild Hot Fix before the movie even officially premiered, right? People just kind of saw the two characters, ran with it, and then from there on, it's only been gathering more steam, even to the fact that there is some like contention within the fandom that since the majority of people do ship, the people who don't agree with it are kind of those like loud minority, right? That because they feel that they're so outweighed, they have to be extra loud about their distaste for Wild Hops. And one post being like, why does everybody have to bully people who don't ship Judy and Nick? One of the commenters joked, burn the heretics. So they were just like in one where they were like, stop the bullying. They're like, no more bullying. Which I
saw posts that were like, I can't believe like people are so mean because we like Wild Hops, but then I never saw any of the mean posts, so I don't know.
Yeah, the one time they said, why are people so against Wild Hops, and they linked to a post, it was from like 2017. And so, okay, you can't talk about Wild Hops fans without mentioning Judy Hopps' number one fan, who I was like vaguely aware of. One of the reasons I thought that this ship came to mind. But that is, of course, Judy Hopps Lover 69. Have you heard of this guy?
I don't think so. I have a different. So what is Judy Hopps Lover
69
known for?
I think it's a bit. I'm pretty sure it's a satire account. I mean, obviously it's a satire account. I can't tell what parts of this guy's account are real or not because he's running around New York on a hobby horse now. He just like he got kind of his 15 minutes of fame on TikTok by pretending to be very obsessed with Judy Hopps and like wallpapered his dorm room with it. Like pretended to be comparing his girlfriend to Judy Hopps all the time, had like these more explicit pictures of her and like big like life-size things, and basically just went viral for being really into Judy Hopps. And he did like this character who whenever somebody cosplayed her, he would like react to their video in very, very cringe ways. And that was just the thing that he did. And apparently there was like a lawsuit. I didn't look all into it, man, because I don't need that in my life. But he had his moment. According to him, he's reformed now and focuses all of his attention on God and hobby horsing. I didn't know if the God was a joke or not. Isn't that sad? I didn't know if that part was part of the bit because he was talking about hobby horsing at the same time. And he's like theater school or whatever.
So what I ended up looking into that I didn't want to spend too much time or my life in was so when you Google like Zootopia ship, one of the like most shipped or most typed in things was like Zootopia abortion. I was like, what hell is that?
Judy Hopps had an abortion?
So it's like a fan comic. And then I was like, did I hear about this? This sounds familiar. Because I think it was just became this whole meme, this whole joke. There's a fan comic, which is actually pretty well drawn. I was kind of surprised. Where they are in a relationship. Judy is pregnant and she decides she does not want to keep the baby. Nick disagrees and it drives them apart.
Oh, no.
It just was so, it's over the top, so ridiculous that it kind of became like the joke of the week or whatever. I think back in like 2017.
Okay. Well, yeah, I totally missed that.
Yeah. I looked into it. I was like, I don't know if it'll come up, so I'll be prepared. But I guess I brought it up.
We each bring our own different takes. You got some like deep cut art thing, and I got Judy Hopps Lover 69.
Yeah. Well, I'm not on TikTok, so I gotta only pull up what makes it to Tumblr.
Right, exactly. So this whole thing, obviously, it captures us. I'd say most of it is probably due to the relationship of the characters, but also like before we wrap up today, let's just talk about: is there like some kind of inherent sexiness just to the fox bunny predator prey dynamic? I feel like that's even if it's not as explicit as animals, like it comes up a lot. Like I'm thinking of Manacled, right? Because they got Hermione on the brain, like that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I think it's the same thing of, I mean, alpha male, like that's the thing. I wouldn't say Nick's an alpha male though.
No.
He's kind of nice.
Which I did read that the original script had him being the main character and he was like a savvy criminal. But instead they decided to go with focusing on Judy, and then to make him fit better into her story, they took him from like a suit wearing fox to like Hawaiian shirt with the boat, or like a tie.
With the tie, I guess, to make
tie.
it seem like he's professional.
You know what? He's very who is that guy who was forgetting Sarah Marshall, the Muppet guy.
Because he was in the Muppets?
Yeah, he's the one who made the Muppets come back. Jason Segel. I feel like Nick was very Jason Segel coded in the moment where Jason Segel types were very popular, right? Like the Hawaiian shirt, the loose tie, or like kind of like the lovable scruffy dude, right? Yeah. So I don't know.
Yeah, like a little useless, but
yeah, they gave him the Jason Segel treatment.
Yep.
From savvy career criminal to just
yeah. Well, I think there is definitely a sexiness to like Fox and Bunny. I mean, they knew what they were doing.
Right. I mean, look at Legoshi and Haru.
Those two. Yep.
Like half that show, Beastars, is just you can't tell if these people want to have sex with that little bunny or if they want to eat her. Like I literally could not tell. It was so confusing. Oh my God, you got to watch it. There's like at the end, there's like this, oh God, like a tribunal of like high-powered people who like to eat that, because again in Beastars land you're not supposed to eat each other, but they like to eat the prey animals. So she like is offered up as a sacrifice, and I do believe they take off her clothes at some part because it is an anime.
Yeah. What about new movie predictions? What do we think they're gonna do?
Yes, what's gonna happen? I don't think they're gonna make it canon. Boo!
I don't think so
Disney.
either. I see a lot of people, they're posting newer Disney movies don't have romantic couples in them. Since they nothing is new really. Which I did want to say, hey, at least this isn't a live action remake.
Oh yeah,
I
know. Gosh.
That's an improvement.
That is. It's still,
But,
at least it's a new script.
Yeah. Yeah, writers had to actually write something.
They had to scrape their two chat GPTs together and come out with a full 108 minutes of Zootopia content. Don't worry, we'll have Shakira singing for at least 20 of those minutes.
A little bit at the front, a lot in the back. Yeah, can't go wrong.
Yep. Recipe for success.
I don't think so either. There was some speculation they might even end up going their separate ways at the end. I kind of they grow and end up going different directions. I don't know.
Oh yeah, and it's like when we'll always be friends or whatever, because that's life, man. Mm-hmm. That's life. But so you don't need that in an animated animal cartoon. But at the same time, like with that, I would rather have that ending than like Nick getting down on his knee and proposing. Right? That just feels super corny as well.
Yeah.
And even if Disney lets us down, we've all seen our WildeHopps fantasies come true thanks to two character actors in Disney World, who I did find somebody mentioned there's a picture of the character actors like looking like they're just full on making out on a float in a Disney World parade. So good on them.
Yeah.
They took it and ran with it, and they said, this is our story right now. And this is how our story goes.
This is our interpretation. Can't tell us we're wrong. I mean, they are wearing these giant heads, so they might have just misjudged.
That's what I was thinking, too. It might have just... I should probably have tried to track down a video, but the guy's face that's standing next to them is like, So maybe not. Either way, they probably got fired.
Yep. Well, let's make someone's day.
And then it lives on the internet forever. Mm-hmm. So thank you. Friends of Judy and Nick, as they would say in the Disney forums. Okay, so let's get to the one true pairing scores.
Yay.
Okay, so do we see it? Right? That's where it starts?
Yes.
10 out of 10.
Do we see it? Do we want to see it?
Is it hot?
Is it hot?
So 10 out of 10. For do I see it? Yes. These two, like maybe 9. Let's be real.
I see they have chemistry. I don't know if I necessarily think or want it to be romantic. I do. Obviously, they're good together.
But do you see where it came from?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's where I'm like 9 for sure.
Oh, she says she loves him at the end.
How
we didn't
did we
talk about
forget
that.
Oh my God, it's gonna be the quote at the top.
Yeah. Yes, so at the very end, they're jibing and japing or whatever. They're partners now. They're about to go catch a criminal. And Nick says something, and then he goes, "You know you love me." And she goes, "Do I love you?" "Yes. Yes, I do." Which I thought was kind of a weird way to phrase it. But yeah, she loves him.
They in love. Well, they love each other. The nice platonic love. Mm-hmm. Or not.
But anyway, yeah, so do I see it? Yes. Do I want to see it? Do I want to see these animals? This is the part where I was hesitant about this.
Yeah. Definitely ranks a little lower on my spectrum as well.
And then is it hot? Or I guess that's the one, the real one. Is
yeah,
it hot?
do I want to see it? Do I want to see these two solve more mysteries together?
Yes.
Like have a little house in Bunny Burrow maybe someday. Yeah, I'd say that more like a 6. Mm-hmm. Like I'm not neutral. I'm like lukewarm on it. Like it would be cute.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I definitely want to see more of the two of them.
Yeah, so to see him just solving crimes.
Yeah, 6.
Watch the second movie when it comes out. All right. Is that your total?
Yeah, 9 plus 6 plus. Is it hot?
Yeah.
It's not hot. I like. So, no. I'm not a Judy Hopps lover. 69. I'll give it like 3 out of 10 there.
Yeah, so I think that's where
Let me average this beach out. Unlike bunnies, I am not good at multiplying.
So many bunny jokes. They were cute. I think I'm going to give them 6 carrot recorders. I feel like it's a little bit more positive than how I was feeling last week. But also, yeah, it doesn't work for me as much as it's working for the other fans. And, good for them.
And I like them a little bit more because it's like, I've picked up on it organically, which is not always something I do. So I'm going to give them 7 out of 10 canoodling costumed couples. So I guess that's 14 out of 20 individuals.
You ended on another alliteration. So where we started, now we end.
All right, we'll be back in 2 weeks with another couple. Send us your recommendations on who you want to hear us cover to shiphappenssisters at gmail.com. I just realized when I said it earlier, I said sisters, but it's spelled all the good old Queen's English way. Shiphappenssisters at gmail.com. There's also an option to text us in the show notes. Completely confidential. We just get a little note. We don't see who texts you, and we can't text you back, so don't worry. We won't be texting you at 2 a.m. about a fanfic we just found. We'll be back in 2 weeks because after all, ship happens.
Ship happens.
I was once told I had a very good Shakira impression. Sorry, that's it. I thought you were going to ask a follow-up, but not.
Nope.
I was like, stop. I don't encourage her singing, especially when it's an impression.